Oh, yeah. Doing the happy dance. Doing the happy dance. Doing the happy dance. Doing the happy dance. That's right, folks. It's a happy dance kind of episode this week. A little break for the Alexandrians. They get a little momentary cool-off period. Rick gets to form some new relationships. Plus, like I said, it's a happy dance kind of night. This week on The Walking Dead, Season 6, Episode 7. Heads up. Doing the happy dance. Alright, figure I'd come back inside. It's getting a little loud out there. Spoilers are ahead, just so you have been warned, okay? Ready, and go. Glenn's alive! Glenn's alive! I know other stuff happened in the episode, blah, blah, blah. Rick and Michonne and Morgan with his prisoner. We don't care about that. Glenn's alive. That's it. That's all. That's all that we wanted. Really. So that was Nicholas that was being torn apart over him, and he used that as a distraction to climb underneath the dumpster and then kill a bunch of walkers, stab it in the face all around him, create a little dead walker pile around the base of the dumpster, and I think that's what prevented the rest of the walkers from gaining interest and going after him in there. And he had to spend kind of a nasty night underneath there. And thus able, once the walkers kind of wandered away, any random noise, anything like that, starts to lead them away, then he's able to pull himself out and re-enter the world of the living. Just really kind of a fabulous moment. I think everybody was breathing a super happy sigh of relief, and we are glad to see that happen. Now, as soon as he pulls himself out, he runs into Enid, who had run away just after the wolves attacked and is apparently now hiding out in the town. And there's a little back and forth with the rest of the episode between Glenn and Enid. Enid wanting to, or expressing that she wants to be on her own. Glenn, for a moment, even willing to let that happen until he sees David's corpse over by the fence and the note that he had left his wife, Betsy, who never got it and then ended up slicing her wrists and leaving a walker bomb for the town to discover a couple episodes back. So seeing that, seeing the note and the goodbyes, realizing with Maggie and the fact that they have a kid, he now can't just leave Enid behind, as he tells her that's not what Maggie would do. And I think even more so it becomes it's not something that Glenn would do. Glenn is the kind of constant moral focus point in the show. Usually who is the moral tentpole, be it Dale or Herschel, they usually get killed. Glenn is really more of us. Glenn is the audience member participating in with the group. He was the guy that was just delivering pizzas. And I think as that character, we as an audience tend to identify and see the world more through him. And Glenn is also the only character that has never killed a human being. And I think that that's really an important point for the way that he looks at the world and his willingness to forgive, to move on, to really work to maintain who he was even into this next iteration of the world. So he can't really leave Enid behind, and they get some nice, again, back and forths with that. But I think ultimately Enid doesn't want to be left behind, even from the very beginning when she tosses the water bottle at him and then says that there's more water there, just take it and go. If she wanted to be left alone, she wouldn't have bothered Glenn at all. It is a typical, I hate stereotype, but it is a typical kid maneuver. Go away, go away, go away, but don't go away too far. I want you to chase me. I want you to reassure me. And I think that's the place where she's been at. Obviously, Enid has suffered a lot of loss with her parents being out on alone for a while. Even when she was in Alexandria, she was never really part of the group. I think there's always been that separation for her that she doesn't want to get tied down. And yet she also really ultimately doesn't want to be left alone. So I'm glad the two of those got together and then, of course, made their way back to Alexandria. Now, meanwhile in Alexandria, We're dealing with a little post-wolf, post-zombie surrounding moment. It's quiet, the walkers are kept outside of the wall. The Alexandrians have a moment to kind of rebuild, reflect on what has just happened. Now, time-wise, only a day has passed since the season opener, since the whole Walker group burst through from the mine and came out, and all of the struggles that's going on. So the past 7 episodes really have encompassed only about 24 hours, which is pretty intense, and I think kind of clues us into the just the intensity of the world, just things happening one after the other. You may have a small break, but when it comes and comes and doesn't stop. So this is the Alexandrians' brief moment of respite. And Rick's doing a little bit of repair work, but the first thing that he wants to deal with is have a chance to talk with Morgan. And he, Michonne, and Carol sit down and have a little chat with Morgan about his pacifism. Rick explains that, you know, in the RV he got jumped by 5 wolves, and when he came back, he heard from Carol that Morgan had let them go. And is that what happened? And does Morgan understand the world that everybody believes that they are living in right now? And there's kind of a nice little back and forth between Morgan expressing his need to believe that all life is precious. Even telling the story, if he hadn't killed this person, then Daryl would have probably died, and how would that have happened? And just the consequences of all of these actions. That sometimes killing people prevents them from becoming the better people that they can be. Whereas Michonne's throwing back very quickly, you know, it's not that simple, okay? Life is more complicated than 4 little words. I don't think they really got to a conclusion. They didn't really draw to a point. It was more of a discussion, which I think works better in the show as a dynamic idea that's circulating around. Who do you kill? Who do you not kill? What is the defining line? And I actually, did Morgan break the 4th wall right there? I believe at the end of his speech when he finished saying that he doesn't know. Is this the world? Does he know that he's doing the right thing? And he gives a great, honest response. I don't know. I'm figuring this all out just like everybody else. I'm trying to hold on to some humanity, some idea, but what's the best choice? I don't know. And then, I swear to God, he looks right at the camera. Is he talking to us? It's kind of interesting. We don't really see any 4th wall breaks in this show. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. My idea is that it was certainly allowed. It went through editing. There was a whole process of that. But I think that is a nice way of pulling that idea, that thought, that argument. What do we do? What is the right decision? If we kill somebody now, it could stop an immediate threat, but does it prevent the possible good that person could do? Everybody has a chance to evolve. Everybody has a chance at redemption. The characters in the show know that. They have all gone through their individual arcs. As Morgan was saying, he was crazy and would have killed Rick in a moment, but Rick didn't kill him. Rick's gone through that process. Sasha's gone through that process. Pretty much every character has gone through the process of losing it and being drawn back. And I think that's what Morgan is trying to point out. There is a potential for people to recover and do good, to positively contribute to society. And is it always the best choice to think of the immediate need and just wipe them out versus taking those chances and seeing what the possibility can develop into? And that's a lot that Rick's actually dealing throughout the rest of the episode too. When he's checking out the wall and he's working on that, Tobin comes up and offers to help. Rick needs to learn to accept help from people that are just outside of the group. Even when Deanna came up with the plans, this is the future of what we have. Rick's not even thinking about that. No, we gotta focus on what's right now. And she said, no, there is gonna be an afterwards. You are going to have to live here. You are gonna have to interact with everybody. And as Michonne says, yeah, we're always going from crazy moment to crazy moment. it's in the breaks that we have to sum up and collect together as a group. And as short as it might be right now, this is the break. This is the time that they have. So it was great that Rosita is doing some training with machetes in the rest of the town on defending against walkers. Of course, having Josh McDermott's character there, he is just awesome, just staring off into space. He is the wrong person. If you are going to be giving him a weapon, you're definitely scraping the bottom of the barrel. Nice. They've got kind of a nice. He and Rosita have a kind of a nice brotherly, sisterly relationship that they've developed over the whole time of the initial quest for the cure, and now being together here in Alexandria. So I think they butt heads together really nicely. They got great chemistry, and I think it's her point of pushing him is you have to be serious, you have to focus. We know that he can. He saved Tara. When it came down to it, he was able to bring it together and do what was needed to do. And that's just going to be a journey for him. Then we've got Ron. Ron's gonna kill Carl, looks like. Actually, my fear when he went in and he went and grabbed the gun is wandering out, because we got Glenn coming back. I'm like, this is what's gonna happen. Glenn's gonna pop around the corner and Ron's gonna shoot Glenn. Or he's gonna be trying to kill a walker and Glenn. It could still happen. Please don't. That would just be horrible. Ron would replace Nicholas with the hate focus of the internet. And also with Morgan, doesn't he realize Carol sees everything? In the first episode, one of his conversations with Carol, that was the moment that he got. She's always watching. She's always noticing anything. That's what Morgan said directly to her. And yet, as he wanders out with the doctor, oh yeah, they're like 20 feet apart, and nobody's gonna notice that in this small town. Carol notices, and Carol's gonna follow him. When Carol is going to know that he's got someone locked up in the jail. Just don't discount Carol. And then, of course, there is the tower that is creaking throughout the entire episode, and you know it's just going to be bad. Now, it didn't fall when Spencer was trying his great rope over the top. Let's see if we can get away and do something. And there was a nice little moment kind of between him and Rick with that as well. And it brings up more of what was happening with Tobin and Rick, and even with Deanna and Rick is, you know, Rick's like, you should have come to me with this. And Spencer's like, would you have even listened? Would you have given me the chance? They believe it. Rick has established himself in the town. Everybody knows that they need Rick, and Rick is an important person. But like Tobin said, you know, you scared us when you first came in. And we want to back you up. But it has to be a two-way street. It's not just Rick and the Alexandrians and the town. They're all one. And that, I think, is really the driving point behind this particular episode and getting things moving forward. But, of course, at the end, it all comes apart. I mean, we get a brief moment of respite. Green balloons of glory, the hallelujah balloons, hallelujah. Glenn's alive, hallelujah. I mean, it was great. Maggie's running out. We see it. We know exactly what they are. The green is the all clear color when they were taking the walkers away, so that group of balloons comes up specifically where Maggie was thinking, if he's going to come, this is the way that he's going to come. They pop up, boom. Moment of joy. I mean, Carl's about to get shot in the back of the head by Ron, but a moment of joy as they're like, here it comes, and then crackle, 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 crackle. There goes the tower, blowing open a giant section of the wall, and that means in come the walkers. And now we gotta wait till next week. Next week is the mid-season finale. This will be the break until February. So it's going to be all out. Obviously, we've got these huge amount of walkers. They're coming into town. Everyone's going to have to run, buckle down. What are they going to do? Only possible real hope on the horizon. We got Daryl, Abraham, and Sasha with a giant tanker full of gasoline and a couple of RPGs. Hopefully, that will be enough to draw out the walkers from the town, give them a chance to rebuild and be prepared for the next horrors that are going to come up. It's going to be all out Alexandrian war. It's going to blow us all away. The intensity that I've heard that they have put into this episode is just booyah. It's going to be awesome. So you're going to have to wait until next week to see all of that. Please press like if you enjoyed my ranting and raving here. Feel free to subscribe if you want. Comments in the section below, always appreciated. You can catch me on Twitter. I'm at Darren Jakes. And in the meantime, I'm going to get myself ready for next week. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to talk to you guys about it afterwards. Y'all take care. I'm D, and I'm out of here.